Alright, Avengers fans, welcome back to another episode of Assemble. My name's High Ruler, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about the Marvel's Avengers hasn't recouped its development costs yet article by IGN. Basically, the way this is going to go is I'm going to kind of explain a few things, give my thoughts on it, and then the whole point of this is I'd love to hear what you guys think about something like this, and just kind of, get everyone's opinion on, kind of the situation at hand here. So, the article is written by Joe Screbbles, and it starts off with Marvel's Avengers sales have been lower than expected, and the game hasn't yet recouped its development costs, leading to an estimated 7 billion yen, which is approximately 67 million USD operating loss in Square Enix HD game segment during the last financial quarter. Company president Yosuke Matsuda explained in a newly translated results briefing, sales of Marvel's Avengers were lower than we had expected and unable to completely offset the amortization of the game's development costs. Game analyst David Gibson previously explained that the company sold 60% of its planned units and that the number implied the game cost around 100 million to make. Responding to an investor's question on the subject, Matsuda clarified that had Avengers not been released in that quarter, the company would have made a profit. That comes down to both development and the marketing costs. Quote, in addition to the amortization of the game's development costs, another significant factor associated with the title was the fact that we undertook a major advertising campaign at the time of its launch to make up for the delays in our marketing efforts resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. There's a certain amount of development costs still to be amortized in quarter 3, but we want to recoup it by growing our sales going forward. Matsuda doesn't offer concrete plans, but said that the hope is that the updates will help drive new sales. We hope to make up for the slow initial sales by offering ample additional content to grow our sales. Last week, developer Crystal Dynamics announced the December release date for its first post-launch hero and campaign, and then announced another and potentially teased other heroes to come beyond that. So they're talking about the Hawkeye teaser and then potentially tease other heroes to come beyond that. They're obviously talking about the Black Panther helmet with Maestro there. So there's quite a bit to unpack here, and we're going to kind of just go very briefly into some of these things here. First and foremost, it's been a long time since I've been in an accounting class. It's been a very long time since I've even remembered basic concepts with accounting. So I'm going to use an article from Tweaktown here. The author is Derek Strickland, to talk about amortization. Just to kind of put it out there for people who may not understand amortization. Obviously, I have a basic idea of what it is, but even my knowledge of it is very, very, very little. So an example of amortization of an intangible asset is game development costs, which are split up over a multi-year timeline. Games aren't tangible or actually real as they're being made. Studios don't pay for game development all at once, but over time in a sequence and scheduled process of spending, and the spending typically doesn't end until months after the game ships. Amortization typically refers to assets that have a defined end period. So what this means is that basically the process of which they spend money on the game development is spread out, right? So when they say it's 100 million, it's 100 million over a period of time, right? So kind of what they're saying in this article here is that the problem with Avengers and what happened is that you had the game development costs for the quarter, right? The amortization of that quarter plus the marketing costs of that quarter to launch the game. And the sales of the game didn't cover both those costs, right? So what it sounds like is that for the most part, they were able to make a profit even with the development costs being amortized across, different quarters and different years. But when they added the marketing campaign on top of the development costs already, the game wasn't able to kind of cover all those costs, right? So here's kind of where we're at with this right now. The game is going to have, obviously time to kind of make up this money, right? Square Enix wants their money back. Obviously, when you make an investment in something like this, whether you're a publisher or even, someone like me, you make an investment to hope that you make money, right? So Square Enix wants to make money on this, right? So with them wanting to make money, what's going to happen is they're going to try and spend their way out of the hole that they're in, right? Which means a few things for us. As a fan, that means content is going to be coming, right? However long we get that content for is anyone's guess at this point. But what that means is we are going to get content coming. What it means for Crystal Dynamics is obviously, Square Enix is going to keep them around to kind of make content for the game. So the game's still going to be around for them to obviously have jobs and so on and so forth. And hopefully for Square Enix, that means, they make their money back and then some after, right? Obviously, if they make a profit, they're going to want to keep the game going. So essentially, what this article is saying is that few factors that play here. Obviously, the marketing campaign that they took, obviously, maybe it was a little more than maybe they should have. So obviously the marketing campaign definitely played a factor in them losing money. The game itself, obviously, for many reasons that you can talk about, didn't sell as much as they wanted it to, which means that they didn't make as much money as they wanted. Um, the idea is now that through sales and post launch content, that the game will kind of find its legs and keep going. So essentially, there's the glass half full and the glass half empty, right? So the glass half empty is that the game didn't make money that they wanted. It sold 60% of what it was planned units. The game obviously is not good. Shut it down, move on, whatever, however you want to take it, right? The glass half full approach is that they obviously want their money back, right? So Square Enix wants their money back. Crystal Dynamics wants to keep making content for the game, and we obviously want more content for the game, right? So the glass half full is that the game's going to be around, right? And whether you play it today, tomorrow, next week, next month, the game's going to come out with new content over the next year. Hopefully, through us supporting the game, whether it's player numbers, spending money on the marketplace, or convincing friends to buy it when it's on sale, when the game actually is in a state that you may feel comfortable recommending it. We will have an Avengers game, after 2021. Who knows where we're going to be at in the end of next year. I say that the next 6 months are going to be very paramount for the game personally. I think if Black Panther is from everything I've heard, Black Panther and Wakanda and everything to do like that is going to be the very first big kind of wow moment for the game, right? If that can be continued on after Black Panther, then I think there should be no issue here. I think people are going to see kind of the stuff that's coming, and then they'll probably buy into the game. If things start faltering and you're not running, you're tripping over yourself, you're not really doing those hurdles correctly, then you might start getting into some issues there of like what happens after 2021. But I think for right now, what we can say is that the game does have a future. Everyone has an interest in it. The community has an interest in it. Square Enix has an interest in it. Crystal Dynamics has an interest in it. And that's just kind of my thoughts on it. I just want to do a quick little video on something like this. I'm trying really not to be like a doomer, I guess is the way to put it. But I definitely feel like this is something worth discussing, and this is something worth talking about. Trying to just gauge where you guys think about where the game's gonna go. And yeah, I think that's it, guys. So once again, please let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Keep it civil, keep it clean. And I'd love to kind of talk to you guys about stuff like this again in the future. And yeah, with that being said, guys, I will see you guys next time. Thank you guys so much. And stay safe, take it easy, and take care. All right. Peace.